Today on Shop Nation, we finish up the dust collection in our ultimate shop table and hopefully make this a thing of the past. What's up, Shop Nation? Today we finish up the ultimate table build dust collection system. We have everything we need here, including the doors that we cut out in the last episode. If you haven't checked it out, go check it out. We have some 4-inch dust collection hose, 2.5-inch dust collection hose, 3 blast gates, 2.5 inches, a bunch of hose clamps, different fittings, all of the electrical components, and the automated switch that's going to turn on and off the blower, which we'll modify slightly. Before we get started, I want to talk about kind of my plan on what I want to do. The first part of that plan is the electrical system. So currently, anytime that I want to use a tool around the table, I have to use an extension cord to one of the plugs on the wall. This table will now have integrated plugs so that I don't have to run multiple extension cords. There's going to be one wire going from the table to the wall. Now, one of the downsides of this is that I'd be running this entire table off of one circuit. I can't really see a lot of situations where I'm going to overload a standard 15 amp circuit just based on tools I use at this table. But because I don't want to paint myself in a corner, I'm using all 20 amp components so that in the future, if I want to upgrade, I can. One of the easiest ways to overload a 15 amp circuit, or any circuit for that matter, is to start multiple tools at the same time. This is a challenge, especially with dust collection. So for example, if I'm going to run my table saw and I want to use the dust collector, I have to offset them starting because the startup amperage is typically much higher than the running amperage. That's where having this automated dust collection switch, like this IVAC model SB&A, comes in handy. When you power on the tool requiring dust collection, this switch automatically delays the start of the blower. And an added cool feature is that it also leaves the blower on a few seconds after you've stopped using the tool. So this means any residual dust is continued to be removed with the dust collection system. Now, one thing that I'm building into this table that kind of goes beyond the capabilities of this single switch is anytime I'm using a tool that uses dust collection at all, whether it be a sander, a router, something like that, I want to trigger the same switch. There's actually going to be 2 plugs on each side of the table specifically designated to dust collection tools. It's actually on the same circuit as this plug and will start the dust collection system. I'm also going to have auxiliary power plugs on each side for things that don't require dust collection. These, of course, will not start the dust collection system. For the internal guts of my dust collection system, I have these hoses and these fittings. All of this will be hidden within the table. The only part of the system visible from the outside will be these blast gates, which you can access from outside of the table. So the first thing that we're going to do is tackle the electrical system. Then we'll tackle the hose system and finally mount the doors. It should go without saying that if you're not comfortable dealing with wiring or electricity, don't. Ask someone who knows what they're doing, or do some research. It's not rocket science by any means. However, a standard 15 amp circuit can kill you, so you gotta give it some respect. Work safely, do some research, and you'll be fine. The electrical system really begins with this heavy duty 12 gauge extension cord, which I'm just running into a switch. I've designed the system so that one switch can turn on and off the table. This cord will then run along the floor to the wall and give power to the whole table.
Alright, so I've got all the wiring laid out and I'll just go through it real quick. So my main power is coming in through this cord, which goes through this switch. I did this just as a precaution. If I ever needed to kill the power to the whole table, I can do it with one switch. From there, the power enters this plug. This plug is going to power the vacuum module. The hot power also goes, there's one leg that runs to that side and one leg that runs to this side. These are for my auxiliary power plugs on either side of the table. Next we have this junction box, which is used to split the power that would normally be plugged in here into 3 outlets. One, again, on either side of the table. That's going to be for any tool where I want dust collection to kick on anytime I use it. The third line runs up and over the table to the front where the table saw is going to plug in. So the blower is going to sit here. Its power is going to plug directly into the vacuum power, which again, this whole box is powered by this outlet.
So before going any further, I wanted to make sure that using this IVAC switching box would not trip my 15 amp circuit. So what should happen is when I start the table saw, there will be a delay, and then the blower will kick on. Now if one circuit can handle both of these tools running, everything should stay running. There's an internal circuit breaker into the component, and then obviously my house circuit breaker as well. Let's give it a shot. Okay, so these are the side panels that will sit on either side of the table, and I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to lay out my components. I know I want a blast gate and a plug, and I think I've decided I want the blast gate up higher and the plug just below it. Okay, so with the side panels cut, I still need to sand them, clean them up. But I need a way to attach it so it's up against this frame, and I don't want to see any fasteners from outside. So what I've done is I'm using pocket holes that will drill into here. I've got 2 pocket holes down here, and I've got 2 up here as well. So that way when it's installed, you won't see any fasteners. Now I'm just marking out my mounting hole locations on the blast gate so that I can drill them out on my drill press. With the side panels complete, I can install them onto the table. Ta-da! This is what I was going for. Any tool that's plugged into this outlet will automatically kick on the dust collector. Any tool plugged into this outlet is just power. And then if I need dust collection on this side of the table, I just plug in here, open the blast gate. Next, I installed the doors using some full overlay European style hinges. These are pretty easy to install and offer lots of adjustment to the door fit once they're mounted. The last step for the doors was to install some cabinet pulls. I had these left over from our kitchen. At this point, all that was left was to hook up all of the dust collection hose within the cabinet. The hose and fittings I used from PowerTech were very straightforward and went together pretty easy. So I've got all the vacuum lines run. You can probably see why I waited until the end to do this. All that's left now is put the bag on the dust collector and test it out. really excited with how this table is turning out. It's actually better than I thought. Shop Nation, thank you for watching. I think as of the time of recording this video, I'm up to 15 subscribers. So let's try and double that. If you like the content, if you want to see how the table is finished, or any upcoming videos, please subscribe. If you have any comments on the way I did things or ways that you would have done them different, please leave a comment. I'd love to hear from you. Hopefully this video sparked an idea for you for an idea that you can apply in your shop. I will catch you guys next time when we tackle the other half of the table. I'm gonna go back to playing with the table because it's freaking sweet.